If I had to choose one eyeshadow aesthetic to use for the rest of my life, I would not like that because I like it all, but it would be dark glam. And I have 16 eyeshadow palettes from my collection that have that dark, sort of edgy, moody vibe to them. These are some of my absolute favorites. Hello, my gorgeous ones. Welcome to Alicia Budget Beauty. My name is Alicia. Here on my channel, I love all things affordable fashion, beauty, and fragrance. I do hauls, tutorials, reviews, eyeshadow palette collection videos, all sorts of fun stuff. So if that sounds good to you, please subscribe, stick around, be a friend. All right, you guys, when I did my Halloween spooky palettes video, I hinted that there were a few in my collection that you might not be seeing in this video because I'm saving them for a different style of video, and that is this one today. And I think that some of these could cross over Halloween into dark glam, but some of these I don't really consider necessarily Halloween palettes, or just more of that sort of dark, sultry, mysterious, moody sort of vibe, which happens to be my favorite style of eyeshadow. Do I wear it every day? No, I don't. I have my Malibu Barbie moments. You guys have seen them, you know, where I'm like warm tones and golds and pinks and turquoise, but truly, if I had to choose my favorite, it's the dark glam. So I have 16 because I don't like to be forced into a box. I was like, I don't want to take one of these out to make 15, so I have 16. Let's go ahead and start with what is actually on my eyes today. You guys, I am loving this look so much. Oh my goodness, it's so freaking stunning. Love, love, love. And that is the brand new Vamp palette from BUDGETBEAUTY. Now, I've only used this once. This is not like a full review. This is not to convince you to go buy this palette. I freaking already love it. I do. I'm in love with it. I'm in love with BUDGETBEAUTY. Absolutely met my expectations when I tried. Let me just get the other palette. I was gonna hint at another palette that I'm gonna show you guys. I might as well just grab it now. Poison Garden. So this is another one from the Dark Glam 16. But when I got this one, I was like, okay, I understand. All the hype is real. Sometimes I try eyeshadow formulas that everyone else loves. It's hyped up, and I don't think that it's quite worth it. BUDGETBEAUTY is one that is, I'm obsessed. Such an awesome formula, but this was my first one, and I loved the dark vibes I got out of this. Some of my favorite looks I've ever done. And then, yes, I got the brand new Vamp palette. This was very expensive. I wasn't sure if it was gonna be worth it or not because I tend to not really agree with where indie prices have gone, but I think this is worth it. And I think if I'm someone that doesn't purchase too many eyeshadow palettes anymore, I can kind of justify it, but it's still very expensive. I don't want to take away from those that feel like it's too expensive, but you guys, it is so dreamy and so good. I love this dark vampy look. Oh, love it so much. This could go Halloween, but this could go just dark glam. And yeah, I think there's gonna be so much to do with this. This is only my first look, but I'm obsessed, absolutely obsessed. Okay, so those are two just straight out the gate. Then we have Mist Haven by Alter Ego Beauty. This was a dupe of the Pretty Grunge palette from Huda, which, by the way, they are trying to claim that the palette that is coming out now, I don't know why I can't make what it's called, it's 90 something bucks. They're saying it's the last big palette they're ever gonna do, so get it, get it, get it. You guys, they are so about trying to fool everyone. Like, I'm sure there'll be another big palette by them, but that's a little side note. Their marketing has been driving me nuts lately. But this is a great alternative to Pretty Grunge. I really like the quality of this. I got some awesome looks from it. I love the cream shadow in here. The black cream shadow is so delicious. You can do liner with it. You can use it as a base. This just gives a real moody, smoked out look to your looks. The next one is the Natasha Denona Xenon palette. Now, this is a palette that right here when I'm looking at it, I'm like, ooh, it's so pretty and gray and silver. This turns very, very blue on me. Now it looks more blue, but I think when I got more light on it, it turned bluer. it turns blue on me, or my skin turns it blue. But it's a very just cool toned, kind of gray, blue, kind of somber vibes to it. And I really enjoy my looks. I don't get a ton of variation out of them, but they're gorgeous. This is one I need to use more. I love this for winter, just when you want that sort of like snow fallen, it's dark outside, you know. I really, and it's a good New Year's palette as well. Good New Year's palette. All right, then I did not include this in the Halloween. I forgot, but it can count now. This is the Addams Family palette by Hip Dot. Now, unfortunately, this was just a limited edition a few years ago, but you get some gorgeous looks out of this little guy. And Hip Dot is one that's disappeared. Honestly, as I'm saying this, I don't think I've seen anything out of them in an entire year. So are they around? I don't know. It's a mystery. I'll probably look after this because I'm curious. But this was really, really good quality. I decluttered all of my other Hip Dot palettes a couple of years ago. This one was really, really good. And you've got a little neutrally going on. You've got your black, smoky, sort of the purpley tone. I don't want to talk about it too much because it's not available, but it's just kind of to tell you guys, if there is another launch from them and you like their color story, I really, really liked this one. All right, next we have Haunted by Gourmande Girls. Of course, I did include this in my spooky palettes, but I think you don't have to just wear this in your October months or spooky season months. Like, you can wear all of them at all times, but this one I love for that kind of grungy, smoked out looks, you know, with pops of purple. You can get a sort of similar look to what I'm wearing right now, minus red, out of this look. But I just encourage you, if you have it, don't just think October. If you want that dark glam, bust this sucker out. Then we have a very underrated palette. This is from Perfume. You guys know I talk about Perfume a lot, and I'm like, they're so underrated. This is the Euphoria palette. This palette is $5, Bonker Town. I love this one. It's so like moody and kind of, I don't know, like matrixy or something to it. There's no green in it, but actually this palette, just gonna skip around. The Dark Fantasy palette from Beauty Bay, it's always reminded me of The Matrix. Something about it. But love this one, by the way. This was in my Halloween one, so I won't spend too long, and it unfortunately was a limited edition. This is a travesty because this is a stunning palette. You guys, if you haven't tried Beauty Bay, I don't know why no one talks about them anymore. They fell off the face of the earth, I think, after the Wilderness palette. That one blew up, everyone talked about it, and then nobody, cricket since then. But they're still putting out palettes, and they're very, very affordable, great quality. This one's excellent, but discontinued. But this one just gets really gorgeous looks. The mattes are really great in here, and the silver shimmer. They also have, this one is kind of like a purpley blue with sparkles. Excellent, affordable palette. Okay, then we have the Temptalia palette. This is Quintessential Deep from Sydney Grace. And I really loved these Temptalia palettes. I think they were some of the best color stories Sydney Grace has ever come out with, just because a lot of Sydney Grace now tends to be more neutrals, a little safer, kind of earthy. But these were some like really kind of unique, darker color stories with the Temptalia palette. I got the deep because even though I don't have super deep skin tone, I just like the depth of them. But yeah, I've always really loved this one for dark glam. All right, so out of all of the Pat McGrath motherships, the one that I think is the most in this category is going to be Subliminal, just because you have these sort of muted, dark neutrals in here, gray, kind of ashy tones, and then you do have the blues. This is one of my favorites. It's funny because when I started grabbing these, ordering these and collecting them a few years ago, this was one I was not that drawn to, and now it's like one that I'm most drawn to. I need to use this more actually. I really, really like this color story for moody looks. Then I had to grab my Wicked Widow Beauty, the Crow palette. This is gonna pop up in like every video, I swear. Just spoiler, it's going to be one of my favorites of the whole year, but this one is so delicious. I would wear this for the rest of my life. I love the smoky tones in here. I love the pops of red. You can have real dark, mysterious, just plain smoky, or you can pop that red and look like a femme fatale. Love, love, love this palette. Then we have the Poppy Storm palette by Titanium Foxes, and I was really impressed by this palette. I did have high expectations because I saw so many of my friends get it and use it and love it, and I kind of had FOMO over it. Then I won it in a giveaway from my gorgeous, gorgeous friend Kelly, and I really did fall in love with it. The only kind of outlier that kind of debunks the whole dark glam is this yellow here. It kind of throws it off a little bit. I like it, but as far as dark glam, it kind of throws it off. But you get some really deep grungy looks, but with greens, because a lot that I've showed have more blues. This one has greens. Then we have by Lunar Beauty, the Siren Sunset palette. And I get a lot of dark glam from this, but with some multi-duochromes. They're not real shifty in the palette. Like, you may just look at this and not notice them at all, but they are there and they are pretty good duochromes for a brand that he's not mainstream, but he's not really indie. He's kind of in between, and I thought it was really cool he included some duochromes in the palette. And the mattes are like dark or neutral, so you can really deepen up the lighter neutrals and make it darker. Also by him, this was my favorite palette forever and ever by Lunar Beauty. I think it still may be, but this is the Lunar Eclipse palette. This was my go-to date night palette for a while, where if I just knew I wanted to do something smoky, I was gonna grab this palette. But you do have the deeper blues. There is sort of like a mauve tone in here that still looks kind of dark and sultry. This is still available, and if you don't have this palette, I just think it's such a great one to have in your collection. I love it. Now, also by Perfusion is the Twilight palette. This one came out this year, and I really like this palette. The only thing is the mattes in here are good. They're not great. This is also, I think, $12, something like that for this giant palette, but the shimmers are so good in here, especially these two. So good. And I love this color story. If the mattes were just amped up a little, this would probably be one of my favorite palettes of the year. I just love the color story that much. I got gorgeous looks from it. And the very last one is going to be the Fleeting Life palette, the Cherry Up. This is Sea Beauty. I showed this in the Halloween palette video, but you guys, this is an excellent palette. The quality is outstanding. You have all different types of textures in here, like foiled, more gritty shimmers, smooth shimmers. You got shifts, and the mattes are some of the best mattes I've ever used. Plus you have this sleek packaging, but this is stunning for those dark glam looks. But that is it, you guys. Those are my 16 dark glam favorite color stories in my collection. You guys will have to let me know if I need one that you have. Let me know in the comments. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, have fun shopping, budget shopping. Bye.